Hello, good morning. Today we are starting our road trip, solo road trip to Lake District via Wales. Our first stop in this journey is Nottingham. The starting point changed since I have drawn this initial map. I went to help a family member who had emergency surgery a few days before, so instead of London, I started in Ramsgate. In this road trip, I aim to keep an art journal inspired by Edith Holden. I spoke to you about Edith Holden's book, A Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. This was such a beautifully drawn art journal through the months of the year. So this just gave me an idea to continue making an art journal as I travel. In my art journal, I aim to do the same as her, writing facts, poetry, quotes, my own reflections, as well as, of course, art. In this road trip, I'm taking watercolors, colored pencils, and some gouache as well. And this is a very new experience for me. I've never kept an art journal on travel before. And also painting outdoors is a new experience. So I'll see how I get along. On the World by Francis Quells. The world is an inn, and I her guest. I eat, I drink, I take my rest. My hostess, nature, does deny me nothing, wherewith she can supply me, where having stayed a while, I pay her lavish bills and go my way. In this poem, the poet compares the human existence as a temporary stay in an inn. The guest enjoys the comforts provided by the hostess, the nature, and move on. Isn't this journey called life just like that? From Ramsgate to Nottingham, it's 222-mile drive via A1 route. That is a 4-hour journey. Since I started very early, around 5:20 a.m., I avoided the morning traffic. Early morning wake-ups are beautiful, so I can watch the sunrise. It's beautiful to watch the skies changing colors in front of me. A Strip of Blue by Lucy Larcombe. I do not own an inch of land, but all I see is mine. The orchard and the mowing fields, the lawns and gardens fine. The winds, my tax collectors are, they bring me 'tis divine. Wild scents and subtle essences, a tribute rare and free. And more magnificent than all, my window keeps for me a glimpse of blue immensity, a little strip of sea. Here we are, entering the Sherwood Forest, the land of Robin Hood. This current Sherwood Forest is what is left of an ancient royal forest in Nottinghamshire. It had been a forest since the end of the last glacial period, over 11,000 years ago. This current forest is about 425 hectares, that is over 1,000 acres. As you enter through the visitor centre, there is so much information to read about the forest and also about the legends of Robin Hood. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Nottingham, and I'm going to walk through the forest. Please join me in this walk through the Sherwood Forest and learning about the legends of Robin Hood. A Song of Sherwood by Alfred Noyes. Sherwood in the twilight, is Robin Hood awake? Grey and ghostly shadows are gliding through the brake, shadows of the dappled deer, dreaming of the morn, dreaming of a shadowy man that winds shadowy horn. Robin Hood is here again. All his merry thieves hear a ghostly bulge note shivering through the leaves, calling as he used to call, faint and far away. In Sherwood, about the break of day. Sherwood Forest has one of Europe's largest collection of ancient oak trees, but the numbers have significantly depleted over the last 300 years. Not only has it been cleared for settlements and farming, but the oak trees are used for everything, including furniture, civic buildings and barns. Oak wood from this forest is used in civic buildings such as the Edwinstowe St. Mary's Church, Nelson's Naval Fleet and the roof of St. Paul's Cathedral in London. The clearance of the forest began during the Roman occupation to build farms and settlements, but by 12th century, the Norman conquest changed the use of the forest in England. They reserved the forest and woodland for the kings and the noble. They were the hunting grounds for the noble. In 1066, the Norman king William the Conqueror invaded England and he turned this forest into a royal hunting ground. At this junction, I'm taking the turn towards the major oak tree. That's one of the significant oak trees in this forest. I'll tell you that story later. Let's go for a walk. There are two species of oak trees growing in the Sherwood Forest, the pedunculated and sessile. Looking at the acorns help to identify them. The pedunculated oaks have a stalked acorn, but the sessile acorns join straight to the twigs. They don't have a stalk. But these two species have also hybridized in the forest. In total, there are more than 1,000 native sessile and pedunculated oak trees growing here, and each one of them is over 400 years old. Now we are walking towards the major oak tree at the heart of the Sherwood Forest. This is a very special ancient tree. It's 10:30 in the morning at Sherwood Forest and there aren't that many visitors at all. I think everybody is still sleeping. It's a perfect time, so peaceful and quiet. And I'm going to start my art journal in front of this major oak tree. After Robin Hood, this major oak tree is the most famous resident in the Sherwood Forest. The legend has it that this tree was the meeting point of Robin Hood and his merry men. It was also used as their hideout inside the tree cave. And today I'm starting my travel journal with the drawing of this major oak tree in the Sherwood Forest. So I'm sketching my first page in this art journal. Painting outdoors is a nerve-wracking experience because I feel very much out of my comfort zone. It's nerve-wracking for a number of reasons. A, because I'm not used to sketch. I don't do rough sketches, I do obsessively detailed hyperrealistic drawings, which take time, months sometimes for one artwork. But now I'm making myself experiment with a new style, different technique, and explore my artistic skills even further. And B, the passers-by stop and watch me paint. I'm not used to having people watch me paint. It's usually very quiet, peaceful space with no one but myself in my greenhouse studio. When passers-by come and talk to me, it's lovely, but it's kind of nervous at the same time for me. It also makes me a little bit anxious and apprehensive. What if this turns out to be a mess? And what if they don't like my work? What if they think this is really silly? Lots of thoughts are going on in my head at the same time. But then I tell myself, this is exactly why I wanted to do this. I want to be more confident in sketching, outdoors particularly, and relax with art in a different level. This road trip was never about them in the first place. This was for me to improve my skills, improve my drawing skills and sketching, and of course learning something new and experimenting with my art. I have to accept that I will never be able to do hyperrealism in this road trip, mainly because it takes months for one artwork. I can only make sketches, and I don't have to be precious about my paper and art. I can just let go of my fears and relax into art and outdoor sketching and just enjoy it. I brought my best friends for this journey, that is my colored pencils. Colored pencils are a wonderful medium, especially for traveling purposes, because when you go outdoors and sketch, it's a very dry medium and you can also use it wet as well. And also it's light, less messy, dries very quickly, and it's perfect for outdoor sketching. And that's why I'm using colored pencils, particularly watercolor pencils, the same colored pencils that I use in all my Patreon tutorials as well. And also I'm using watercolor paste just because I like it. I brought some gouache. Gouache is a lot of fun to use, and I will at some point use gouache in this road trip. I'm still doing the initial sketch of the major oak tree, and I'm trying very hard not to get obsessed with the detail. I just want to do a simple sketch that I can color with my colored pencils. This is a very good exercise to practice the sketching skills, and that's what I wanted to improve in this journey. I can hear the crickets chirping in the bushes and the birds, and also the rustling of the leaves in the wind. Sun is above me, it's a beautiful day, and it's very quiet in the morning in Sherwood Forest. This is a whole new experience for me, and I'm trying to be very mindful and enjoy and savor each moment. I'm kind of done with the initial sketch, and I'm using the watercolor pencils to create the darkest areas and the shadows on the tree bark. This is a good exercise to practice seeing the light, dark and the midtones, just the three, only the lightest, blackest and the midtones, and create the depth and shadows of the tree to make it look 3D. Outdoor sketching is a really good experience to train the brain and the eye to understand the depth and the dimension of the object. For example, if you're painting from a photograph, the image is already 2D'd for you and you have a frame. Whereas if you're in the nature, painting from the nature, the viewpoint is all you can see, there's no end. So it's very important that you carefully select your frame, stick to that frame and not move, and also use the light and the shadows to create the 3D effect. So as you can see, I am back to pencil, adding a bit more detail. It's a habit. I'm trying hard not to get obsessed with the detail, but it's hard to control. This is my first sketch, so I'm still learning. I am encouraging myself to loosen up a bit with my style. Not a bit, I mean a lot. Earlier we were talking about this major oak tree. There are hundreds of ancient oak trees thriving here in the forest for more than 500 years, and including this legendary major oak tree. This is estimated to be more than 1,000 years old. Just imagine, more than 1,000 years old, which means this major oak tree was right here when Marco Polo traveled in Asia. Renaissance started in Italy. Shakespeare played Hamlet for the first time. And in 1609, when Galileo Galilei made the first astronomical observation with the telescope. Not only that, this major oak tree was right here when in 1776 United States declared independence. Beethoven did his Fifth Symphony. And in 1833, when the slavery was abolished in the British Empire, in 1862, when Pasteur's germ theory started, and 1914, World War I, 1939, World War II, 1945, atomic bomb, Gandhi, Beatles, Lenin, Che Guevara, this tree has seen it all. He had lived through the history of it all, and still surviving through it, and even today still standing very strong. Isn't that just amazing and magical? The major oak weighs approximately 23 tons. It has a girth of 33 feet and a canopy of 92 feet. There are many theories as to how this tree had become so huge and so oddly shaped. One theory is that it may be many trees fused together as saplings. Slowly my tree is getting into shape, and I'm enjoying this relaxing morning drawing this major oak tree in the Sherwood Forest, and I've learned so much as well in the process. I have read it somewhere that there was a quote saying you don't really understand a subject until you start drawing it, and that's very true, particularly for this tree. And when I'm drawing it, I'm realizing how oddly shaped it is, about the texture of the leaves, the shadows, the tree bark, the branches, the twigs. There's so much interesting detail in each part of this tree. Drawing it really highlights this for me. This is the fun bit where I get to add water to the watercolor pencils and wait for it to dry before adding more layers. As I mentioned to you earlier, the colored pencils are a wonderful medium. You can use it wet as well as dry. So for the watercolor pencils, I've done the pencil layer. Now I'm adding water so to blend all the different tones I've used, and then I'm going to put more layers over it when it dries. Because it's a quite sunny, warm day in the air, it'll dry quite quickly. Until then, I'll go for a little stroll around the forest and I'll come back and finish my drawing. There's a rich and diverse bird life all around the Sherwood Forest. There are woodcocks, tawny owls, great spotted and lesser spotted woodpeckers, as well as robins all around the forest. There are migratory birds coming to the Sherwood Forest during the summer period. For example, woodlarks, nightjars and redstart are the birds that usually come May to early September. During the winter months, they fly away. The Sherwood Forest is the home for many insects, including the hazelpot beetles. They are a rarity in United Kingdom. Did you know that hazelpot beetles raise its larvae in pots made of its own dung? Walking through the forest, I can hear many bird songs in the air. I'm not very good at distinguishing each one of them, but that's something I would like to learn one day. The Woods in May by Elwood Roberts. There dwells a subtle fragrance within the woods of May that baffles all description, inviting us to stay. Aroma of the springtime, of bursting buds it tells, of wild flowers bright unfolding from out their tiny cells. The Sherwood Forest has many footpaths and you can wander around through the footpaths all day, and each one starting and ending at the visitor centre. So on a sunny day it's perfect for a walk with the children, and there is wheelchair access on all the roads, so it's a great day out for anyone. Ghost spiders are another rare species found in the Sherwood Forest. Besides Sherwood, they're not found in many other places in the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, I didn't find any of them during my walk. In this video about the Sherwood Forest, I didn't talk about Robin Hood at all, mainly because I have a whole separate video just dedicated to Robin Hood, and also drawing Robin Hood in the Sherwood Forest itself. So don't forget to check that out as well. The abundance of insects and plants means there's a lot of food for other creatures too, like squirrels, hedgehogs, owls, bats and birds. There are more than 300 species of fungi growing in the forest, both on trees and on the forest floor. Plants and trees have a very intimate relationship with the fungi. The Sherwood Forest is a special site of scientific interest. which means removing any plants or species is an offence under the Wildlife and Countryside Act. On the forest floor, there are so many wildflowers, including red campions, St. John's wort and foxglove. I found this little robin sitting on a fence. He wasn't scared of me. I suppose they are used to visitors. In the Sherwood Forest, I met Robin, but without the hood. At the end of the first day of my road trip, I came back to my hotel and reflected on my day at the Sherwood Forest. It was a wonderful day, very sunny, perfect weather, and I learned so much about the forest itself. I had a great time learning about sketching, practicing sketching. In the style of Edith Holden, I dedicated the first 2 pages for the major oak tree, and then I wrote a little bit about the Sherwood Forest on the next page. I also wanted to do a little drawing of the little robin I saw in the forest. My favorite part was creating the feathers with colored pencils. I was in my element. It was a blast. So I really enjoyed drawing the little robin. The next page I dedicated to Robin Hood and the legends surrounding the character. When I created the portrait of Robin Hood here, I did not worry too much about the realism. It was just a sketch, it was just a face of a man that I painted with colored pencils, flat and 2D. I didn't worry about the detail, the depth and also the tones. Just a freelance sketch of the man, just a cartoon. I have a whole separate video about Robin Hood, so please stay tuned. And I hope you enjoyed walking through the Sherwood Forest with me and also sketching the major oak. Thank you so much for all your kind support and love. I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world.